This here is my 2019 Chrysler Pacifica with the S package. I bought it new about 5 or 6 months ago with the intention of turning it into a camper van so I can travel around the country. And what better vehicle to do it in than a minivan. I can only afford one vehicle, so this vehicle has to wear many hats. It's a people mover, a daily driver, a work vehicle, and the ultimate road trip machine. This video is intended to be a update of a previous video, so some of these things that I'm about to show you I may have already talked about, but I'm going to try to emphasize the new things. There's the carbon fiber. I don't think that was there last time. It's not real carbon fiber, it's just vinyl made to look like it, but it's got a 3D texture to it, so I think it looks pretty cool. It actually gets more attention than I expected. But it was a cheap mod, easy to do, and kind of fun. Now I want to put carbon fiber vinyl on everything. But anyway, inside the car, I'm going to keep my iPad down here and plugged in case I want to check my emails or see what's in my Dropbox or whatever. Cup holders pretty much look like this during a road trip too. At some point it'll have a can of Monster in there, but most of the time it's just empty. And in here, this little secret compartment, it's not much of a secret, but that's where I keep my trail mix. I get this stuff at Menards. It's pretty darn good. Okay, let's hop in the back. Some of the updates here. I put this, it looks like diamond plate, but it's actually really tough vinyl. And it's just held down by 3M automotive tape. I think it looks cool, and like if I have a lot of passengers getting in and out, I didn't want them scratching that part of the car up. This is the same rug that was in here before, except it used to go all the way under the bed, but there's really no reason for that, so now it stops at the edge of the bed, which gives me room to put a little box under there. In the previous video, I had a plastic bin under there with all my food items in it, but now they go inside this thing. This is kind of handy because I can also set my laptop on top of it, and right behind that on the back of the seat is my sister's Bluetooth radio. You might remember that from the last video as well. And all I did was put it on a little cushion and then strapped it down, and the cords actually go through the back of the seat here, which would be uncomfortable if anybody sat there, but nobody does. Inside this thing, I'm not going to go into too much detail. I don't think you care about the inventory I take with me, but basically I keep my breakfast stuff up here. That's where my flatware goes. This is a bit overkill because I only have 3 flatwares, so I really don't need all this space, but I already had this thing and I thought it looked cool, so I stuck it in there. Middle drawer is for snacks. No real food items because I eat, at KFC or whatever restaurant I find on the road. But these are just snacks in case I watch a movie or stuff for breakfast. Bottom drawer is for garbage and dirty clothes. Right now there's clean clothes and recyclables. Anyway, other thing about this carpet is before I didn't cut it to go around this wall because this carpet is super nice and soft and expensive and I didn't want to cut it. But this is the only thing I use it for, so I eventually got around to it. And so I cut it to fit around this wall so it doesn't flop over and look all weird. Oh, and this is my phone charger. You just stick your phone in there. You don't have to plug it in or anything, and it charges, and that's great to have it there while you're sleeping. Speaking of sleeping, another major change is this mattress right here. In the previous video, I had a 3-inch mattress, about half that size. I even tried to put foam stuff underneath it, but it turns out it was not as comfortable as I thought it was. I mean, it's fine for an overnighter here or there, but if you're going to be gone for a week or two, you need a good night's sleep. And this thing here is 6 inches, and it's memory foam, and it was about $129. I know that sounds expensive, but trust me, it's totally worth it. Can't put a price on a good night's sleep. Well, maybe you can. I don't know. Depends on how badly you need the money, I guess. Anyway, I rolled this up just because it looks neater. but then it turns out while I'm on the road, it seems like every morning I roll it up anyway, because I can also use it as a backrest if I want to sit up there. But normally I sit in this chair right here. This is the third row chair. It's a 60-40 split. I guess this would be the 40 part. And this bed is 30 inches wide, so that leaves enough space for this chair. And while I'm sitting in my chair, this is the view I have of the rest of the car. Over on this side, the car comes with a little cup holder. In the previous video, I tried to stick a clamp thingy in here with a little tray table on it. But it turns out, as nice as that thing was, this cup holder is kind of conical shape. So, and the thing that went in here was designed to push outward. But the harder you push outward, it just comes out, just squeezes out like toothpaste. And so the tray table thing, it just wasn't working. And I don't want to drill any holes, so I'm just going to have to do without that. I might come up with something else another time. But for now, I don't really need a tray table. That's where I keep my mouse, so it doesn't roll around. This right here is my pride and joy. What you're looking at is a system I designed and constructed myself that is basically mini blinds. There's a frame that goes all the way around the window, which was kind of necessary. But basically all you do is you grab this thing here and you pull it down, and that's it. And so this window is blacked out, and these are blacked out shades. They're designed to go in the house. But somehow I made it work in the car, which, as anybody who's done anything in cars knows, is very difficult because everything in a car is rounded in multiple directions and three-dimensional, and so it's very difficult to custom build anything inside a car. And then it just goes back up the same way, and it stays up there on its own. But if it didn't, all I do is tighten this, and it tightens it to the frame itself, and so that's not going anywhere. And I've got the same on the other side. So you just bring that down, and it fits into a little slot, and then tighten it up, and there we go. This was not easy. This was very difficult for me to do. I tried real hard, messed up several blinds, and these blinds are expensive. And eventually I gave up and said screw it, and started just sticking cardboard in the window. But then I got back from my last trip and said, okay, I'm gonna try it again. And I'm so happy I finally got it done, and it finally works. Even on this last trip, I realized the knobs I was using before were wood, and that wood was falling apart. So I had to replace it with these metal ones, which cost me, I think they were $4 a piece, maybe $3. So not bad. Anyway, let me show you the sink. And so finally, the updated sink. If you remember from the last video, it was this same table. Well, this is actually like a piano bench, but it was longer, and of course a little bit taller. And what I did was I chopped it in half and chopped the feet off, and then moved those legs over to this side, and it just made for a smaller sink. And in this case, smaller is better. It's more portable, it's lighter, it's easier to put in and out of the car, and it takes up less space, obviously. I'm still using the same faucet. It's just a USB powered faucet. It was about 16 bucks on Amazon when I bought it. Push this little button here and water comes out. It's not blasting out like a fire hose, but it's plenty for washing your hands and brushing your teeth and refilling your water bottle. The stainless steel sink here, that ran me about 50 bucks, which is probably a little bit more than you need to pay for something like this. If I had to do it again, I saw another video where they used a plastic wash tub, and I saw those at Walmart for like $1.60, and they had a stack of them. And they did the exact same thing, but they paid, $48.40 less than me. I keep this basket under here, this little wicker basket found in my house. Not even sure where it came from. But I keep my towels and maybe soap and whatever for washing dishes. And that's a fire extinguisher. Whatever. The sink works because these hoses, there's a little hose going for the faucet and down into a little tank in the basement. And there's also a drain hose that goes down into another tank, also in the basement. And this floor, I call it a sink base. I custom made this so that it fits in the van and keeps the sink level, which is difficult to do because cars, like for example, there's this thing. Not even sure what that's for, but there's not another one over here. So I had to put a leg on there. I don't know if you can see that. And then on the other side, there's a longer leg there, and a shorter leg on that corner, and then no leg on this corner. And I had to do all that jankiness to make the sink level, which is important so that it drains properly. Anywho, but there's a lot of space under there, plus I need to get at the tanks every now and then to refill them. So I made this little trap door, and it comes right out of there. I can set it on top. And then there's the tanks. And these are both 2-gallon tanks. I put the clean water in here, clean filtered water, and then this one's empty. And that way I don't have to worry about it overflowing because there's not going to be more water going into here than it's coming out of here. So if the water stops coming out of the faucet, that's how you know this is empty and this needs to be dumped. And I have enough room for my toolbox and jumper cables. A couple things I hope I never need to use, but it's foolish to be out in the middle of nowhere and not have some tools. I don't know what I'll need, but I threw a knife in there and some drill bits and screws. I even put a little Black & Decker drill in there. There's tape and I don't know, a hammer, just basic tools, because you never know what you're gonna need. These rails right here, they're really pretty, nicely stained, but I can't take credit for that. It's actually leftover pieces of this piano bench. So the part that I cut off that used to have a fridge in it, I saved the end pieces. Didn't know what I was going to do with them because I didn't know I was going to make this thing. But I just stuck them under there to hold the trap door up, and that works out pretty well. And I think it looks nice too. And that is the sink. So if anybody has any questions about the sink, put it in the comments below. This refrigerator is probably one of my most favorite gadgets that I bought for this thing. It's really quite awesome. This is actually the second one I bought. Before this I had the CFX 50. I hope I'm saying that right. But it was a little bit bigger than this one. It came out to right about here. And so you can see the problem. I was able to squeeze it in there, push the sink all the way up against the wall and squeeze the refrigerator in there. But then the lid was so big, it would scrape against the wall over there and you couldn't open it fully. And with these refrigerators, if you can't open it fully, it means you have to use 2 hands just to grab something out of it. But if you can have it lean all the way back, and it can sit there on its own, and then you can grab your food. So this one was a little bit smaller, and it's a slightly older model, so it doesn't have the Wi-Fi connectivity, so you can connect it to an app on your phone for whatever reason you'd want to do that. But is the CFF 45. And what is special about this is that it not only opens this way, but it also opens on the other side. So when I come out of Walmart, I can come back here and I can throw my groceries in there, which is usually just consists of Monster and carrots and an apple, maybe some pineapples. But I can also access it from the inside. So when I'm in here and I want to make breakfast, I just push that open and I can go in there and grab my food. And that is extremely convenient. And if you want to, for easy cleaning, you can actually open it from both sides and the whole thing just comes right off of there. I guess that's so you can clean it, or maybe you can do something with this lid. I don't know, but it's so simple. I don't understand why every cooler doesn't work like this. It's simple and brilliant. And every time I use this thing, I think to myself how much I love it. The price on this was $850. At least that's how much I paid for it. I noticed that the prices on these coolers tend to fluctuate, like the price of gold or something. So if you wait long enough, it'll go down, but maybe it'll go up. But look around. The Dometic website is not the cheapest place to find it. There are some other third-party websites. Also, Amazon has this, but it's through a third-party seller. But I'm pretty sure I got mine on Amazon, because as a Prime member, it's really easy to return stuff. Like I said, I had the bigger one, and then I saw this one, and I just returned the bigger one and bought this. It cost me about $30 in shipping to return that other one, but totally worth it. I'm so happy now. And so that concludes this tour, or updated tour, of my camper van. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment section below. I will respond to all of them. And if you like this video and you want to see more, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much, and enjoy your fantastic life.